Hey guys, Dr. Sean here. I want to review a study with you. I haven't been this excited about a study in the longest time, maybe ever. This is such a fantastic study. It's come out over 2 weeks ago. I'm a little surprised that it isn't, or it hasn't got more attention from other people, but I'm a little fringy and I'm seeing some things that I just got to bring to your attention. So this is truly a game changer study. It's about a game-changing molecule. I'm just going to bait you up front. I've never done this before, but you are a fool if you do not watch this video, because the potential for improving yourself. Free, this molecule that I'm going to be reviewing is something that your body can make. And if you're not making this, you are missing out on the opportunities to optimize yourself, improve your health, and solve some big problems, particularly if you are overweight and you want to get yourself more healthy, you want to lose weight, then you really want to pay attention to this study and send this to somebody who may be having that problem. It's absolutely a game changer. So I want you to watch this video, take some notes, and let me just ask you right now. If you, after watching this video, think this content was not amazing, I seriously freaking want to hear from you why. I really do. I'm fascinated in the mindset of somebody who could watch this content, not mine, not me. I am so suboptimal doing this, but could see these kind of contents and blow it off, because I'm interested in figuring out why you think that way. Because we've got to figure out why people hear about things and don't act on it. But this one is a game changer. So I'm going to talk about, first of all, what this molecule is, and so you're aware of it. Two, how it's produced. Three, in the video, I'm going to say where it's made in the human body. And really important, what it does, the particular beneficial effects that it has, and very interesting why it does, maybe why it's doing this, has this kind of effect, because it's so profound. We got to ask the question, why is this happening? And then I'd like to review how it influences actually the way you eat. Yeah, your diet. Super interesting. Fascinating that it actually influences your diet, what you want to eat and how you're going to eat. And in particular, it works for pleasure-driven eating. So why you eat crappy food. So it's really interesting. It's not the complete answer, but it's a big part of the problem and solution to this epidemic of obesity. So I'd like to get into it. Also, I'm going to discuss the roles of different type of exercise with regard to this molecule. Exercise versus sedentary behavior. So first of all, the name of this molecule, what they did in this study, and before I get into the name, is that they looked at what happens when mice exercise. And when they found out mice exercise, we know about lactate for a while. From vigorous exercise, lactate is produced. But in this approach, they decided, okay, we're not going to look for certain targets. We're just going to non-target approach. We're just going to see what is produced the most when mice exercise. And believe me, it's not just a mouse study. It goes into humans too. But what they found was a particular type of molecule, a new one called, which is a synthesis, a combination of lactate with phenylalanine. I hate even saying that word, phenylalanine, which is an amino acid. I struggled with saying that in medical school, but it's a precursor to an amino acid. And lactate with phenylalanine get together and make this combination drug. Thank God they gave it a molecule, a simpler name, Lac-Phe, okay, Lac-Phe. And you can Google it and read more about it. But Lac-Phe is this combination of lactate with phenylalanine, and they get to, it's what they found was released in the largest amount of after a vigorous session of exercise in mice. But they also went back, interesting, and decided, well, what else? Where else is it produced in any other species? And they found out it's produced in humans and racehorses. And it's probably produced in many other animals, but we'll have to see, because this is a new one. We'll have to study it more. But yeah, it's produced in the highest quantities also in humans and racehorses. So it's a very interesting molecule associated with high intensity exercise. So where it's produced is in the immune cells and the epithelial cells of your skin And the epithelial sign is very interesting. Line your gastrointestinal tract, your gut. Key to health is gut. And your largest organ is your skin. So pay attention to your gut and your skin. Super important. I've always focused in on those things, and many of my videos pertain to certain aspects of both the gut and the skin. So I'm not surprised that this one is produced in those two regions. So very important. And then we're going to talk about its production. So first of all, let me tell you what it does. Very interesting. It helps to reduce weight, helps to reduce fat, and to improve muscle. But not only that, it was found to reduce the appetite of these mice 50%. Okay, the mice, what they did is they took mice that were obese and they gave them this molecule, Lac-Phe, and they injected it in them. But the interesting thing was only one group of mice had 50% reduction in mice, 50% reduction in the mice. And it was a group that was eating an unhealthy, fatty diet, a diet that basically causes the mice to become fat. The group of mice that were eating a healthy diet, fascinating. It did not affect their appetite. So what that means potentially for humans is, if this holds true for humans, is it may in fact reduce your appetite for pleasure-driven food, for food like, ice cream, cookies, muffins, pasta, rice, crackers, cookies, all those things, pizza, beer, that you cannot stop eating right now. This may be the solution. It will stop that, but not suppress your appetite for a healthy diet, like eating healthy meat and healthy vegetables in whole form, eating clean. So this is fantastic. It's super, super interesting. This affects only when you're eating an unhealthy diet. And the other thing is, it was found it only worked, it only had its effect after intense exercise. So mice that did not exercise intensely did not get this benefit from this Lac-Phe. If they gave it to the mice that were sedentary and just sitting around, couch potatoes, they did not get this benefit. So the bottom line is, you don't want to be a sedentary mouse or a sedentary creature, human being. You want to do intense exercise to get this benefit. So why does it do this? Why does it suppress the appetite for eating bad foods? So by burning fat, what it helps the individual and the mouse who is participating in a vigorous kind of activity and burning fat, it helps them be better at that. Okay, so you cannot do high intensity exercise. You cannot do that kind of activity. I have to come back out and tell you something in particular. They looked at 36 human beings. I'm gonna have to pause for a moment. I'm sorry, I'm not better at these presentations come through it, but I forgot to tell you, 36 humans, they studied it and looked at Lac-Phe production in 3 different types of exercise, okay? And what they found was the least amount of Lac-Phe was produced in endurance, long duration exercise, jogging. You see where my bias is about jogging, okay? The lowest amount of Lac-Phe. The group that got the next highest amount was from weightlifters, okay? Lifting weights, resistance training produced the next highest amount of Lac-Phe production was resistance training, weightlifting. What was the group at the top? Sprinters. And if you watch me, you know I am biased very much heavily in favor of sprinting, high intensity, maximum intensity. It's not just high, it's maximum intensity. You don't do a sprint unless you're running as fast as you can. So what they found was, in those 36 human beings, it's sprinting that increases the most amount of Lac-Phe. So what's going on? Because your body thinks you're back for 4 million years of what you're adapted to do, which is a hunter-gatherer. You're meant to go out and hunt, chase down these animals and fight these animals. So it's high intensity, maximum intensity. And you can't sprint after these animals if you're carrying a lot of fat. You can jog a long distance, go ahead and do that. Duration, yeah, fat will hold on. You can go run for a long time. There are a lot of heavy-set people out there running. But sprinting, completely incompatible if you got a lot of heavy weight on you. Your body will be messaging, get rid of that fat, because fat can't fly. You cannot fly when you got this extra heavy amount of adiposity associated with it. So interesting, and I want to show you real quick an interesting study in my own self where I studied a guy and I got him to stop doing distance running right here. The white inside is visceral fat, and this is him just 2 months later. Got him to stop doing distance running and to adopt sprinting, and he got rid of his visceral fat and he grew muscle. So this particular study comports with my own experience in my study, 5,000 people looking at visceral fat inside of them, why they lost so much weight. We got them to start sprinting. And so it's one of my interventions that I get all my clients to do is to sprint. So sprinting helps you lose that weight so you can sprint better. So what about this appetite thing, pleasure driven? Because if you're eating fattening food that's causing you to be unhealthy, you're not going to sprint well. But nature wants you to eat healthy food. So it drives you towards a healthy diet and drives you away, suppresses your appetite, at least 50% in this study with the mice, 50% if you're eating unhealthy diet. So what that means for a human being is if you are heavy and overweight, you need to start sprinting. And you should be fascinated by this concept that if you are resistant to sprinting because you're overweight, there's something really amiss going on with you. And I'll just posit you this Sean OMara thinking it's going to be the microbiome. You're going to have microbes inside of you that don't want you to sprint, don't want you to cut out those bad foods because that's their food supply to them. And that's exactly what the heck you got to do. You got to cut out those bad foods and you got to start sprinting to lose that weight. It's really, really an imperative that you start doing that. So, it's really key findings. Really want you to try to adopt that and apply it. I'd love to hear about how it works with you. It's fascinating to me that it actually is influencing our diet, and that it also is this benefit, this Lac-Phe, is only happening to organisms that are involved in high intensity, maximum intensity exercise, sprinting. Again, I'm getting away from high intensity exercise. I'm going right for the sweet spot. It's MIE, maximum intensity exercise. If you want to get a look at what maximum intensity exercise looks like, you can go to my Instagram account for July 3rd, yesterday. I did a 1 minute sprint of sorts on my range of motion machine where I did maximum intensity for 1 minute, and you'll see an idea how intense I was, okay? I'm not fooling around. I don't do high intensity. It's max effort. And I'm really breathing in a very, very excessive manner, really increasing my lung volume and my cardiovascular challenge. And you can see why it's so beneficial. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to give you a couple pictures so you can have an idea of what this looks like in a study. So here it is. It's in the journal Nature, okay? So you can screenshot that off your internet. The journal Nature, the date on it is June 15, 2022. That is the title of the study, so you can pull it and read it for yourself. And then, interesting for those of you who are not scientifically trained. Look, I don't want you to read a study if you cannot get the benefit of it. So a pretty good article, I look for articles that help review these studies, and that's why I also review it too. But this is a nice article, and I recommend you read this article that's associated with this, that is reviewing this particular study, so you can learn a little bit more about Lac-Phe yourself and the interesting observations. So take home points, you want to learn about Lac-Phe, you want to do high intensity exercise, I did it again, maximum intensity exercise. The very best exercise in human beings to produce Lac-Phe in the highest quantity is sprinting, and besides causing you to lose fat and to build muscle, Lac-Phe decreases 50% your appetite for eating bad food. So if you are overweight, somebody's overweight, somebody's obese, they must be doing sprinting. They got to include this to generate Lac-Phe. Weightlifting works, but better is sprinting. Okay, so I've been looking for a study to demonstrate that sprinting is the best, and here it is right now. So hope you like this video. If you do, give it a like. Consider subscribing to me so you get other content. Give it a little alert so you can pay attention to this. I am a 501c3. I'm not for profit. Any money I make goes right back into the optimization of human beings, studying it, the educational content. I want to create videos and send it to schools and to colleges and to prisons and churches and other people, try to get people healthy and understand that we can really reverse chronic disease and optimize human beings, start solving the biggest problem in the world, which is the accumulation of chronic disease. If you want to help me in this mission, you can get a hold of me and make a donation. I'd love to have some better content, so I get somebody who's better at reviewing this content than me. I just see weird things, but I'm not the greatest at producing these kind of videos. A couple of people come forward and they're going to help me, and so I'm slowly starting to improve that. But yeah, this is my passion, to get human beings more healthy. So thanks very much for the opportunity to review this interesting study involving Lac-Phe. I hope you put in an application. Love to hear from you. Give me some comments, and by all means, share it with other people so that they can start getting the benefits from this interesting game-changing molecule. Thanks very much. See you in the next video.